why are you holding your hands like this? Are you pretending you're making a field goal?
No.
Your room looks more spacious.
It is. It is. I had a wild hair at my ass last week, and yeah, I switched a couple things.
Very nice, very nice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's installment of Midweek Meltdown. I'm your host, Zero, with, well, as it said, it's a Cavanaugh special tonight. It's myself and Ponyboy talking to you tonight. Yes. Tommy Guns is spending time with his family. We wish his mom a speedy recovery. She's in good spirits and doing well, but apparently she is still crabby.
For those of you who don't know, Tommy Guns' mom had a fall a couple days ago. Bumped her head. She basically, and I'm gonna make lighthearted of this. She Humpty Dumpty'd herself. To be in a point. So we wish her nothing but the best. We hope speedy recovery. She is doing good. As Zero said, she's crabby, and if you've ever met Tommy Guns' mom, she will understand when I say this. She can be a raging, caging, beautiful woman.
Wonderful woman.
That's where we're gonna leave it. But anyways, we're going to. This is a Cavanaugh special. You get both Cavanaugh boys tonight. Got a couple things we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about some wrestling. We're gonna talk about some of the promos. There's been a hot week for promos. We're gonna talk about some local events, and then of course, we're gonna touch on the Wrestlemania and Wrestlemania watch party in a week. So, Zero, what do you want to talk about?
All right, I want to begin with the fact that I didn't know this, but my drummer Possum sent me a TikTok, which was actually Dominic Mysterio's advertisement sponsorship of Wingstop chicken tenders. And, in my opinion, it makes sense for Dom to have be the one endorsing and advertising Wingstop chicken tenders, because he says in it that he is the tendy king. Now, Wingstop chicken tenders, I won't lie, whenever I order it, I always get the triple deal or whatever, where you get, wings and tenders and stuff like that. Their tenders are sometimes very half-ass, and they're not the greatest.
I will be honest with you. I have never had Wingstop. I've again, as a 320-pound man, I don't really have, or just, I don't really.
You don't discriminate or shy away
from
any
thank
type
you.
of food.
I was looking for a word begin with a D, but
I don't discriminate when it comes
to food. But you want to know what? Wingstop, Chick-fil-A, avocados, hell no.
But you know what? With Chick-fil-A, I've only had it once, and that was when I was on an away team out in Indianapolis. First time I tried it, and don't get me wrong, I thought it was overhyped. I think the KFC chicken sandwich is a hell of a lot better.
You want to know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I prefer Raising Cane's. That's
their chicken sandwich is good, but again, it's all about the sauce with Raising Cane's. That's all it is, dude. But the thing about it,
their garlic bread's great. Their lemonade is awesome.
It's not garlic bread; it's just toast. It's Texas toast.
Whatever it is, put it in my mouth.
But I will say the milkshakes from Chick-fil-A, those are actually pretty decent. It reminded me of, yeah. I don't,
So speaking of Dom, I want to get into this.
Okay.
And I know we got a week. I'm calling it. I think he's going to win.
And I wanted to talk to you about that, and I wanted to talk to Tommy Guns about it, but he's not here, okay?
Okay.
We normally do the prediction showcase on our midweek meltdown before the PLE, everything like that.
We do.
I want to figure out a way, because last year we had fun doing the predictions for Wrestlemania.
We did. And unfortunately, he comes in next Friday, so that doesn't leave us a lot of time.
It doesn't, but if we can figure it out prior to doing a live stream of all of us together, everything like that.
You know what we can do? I'm sure we can go to the wonderful, glorious Industry Tap House a little bit early. Set up, and like, you know what I'm saying? We could do that.
See, but the problem is there's going to be a lot going on that day.
But if we get there earlier, you know what? Again, we may be able to find somewhere to do it Friday night. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Because the other thing about it, the thing we ran into when we first started this podcast and everything, the cross mic contamination and everything like that. So let me do some planning and thinking, and I'll get back to you on that. But it was just an idea I had in my head. Anyway, in regards to, you think that this will be Dom's WrestleMania moment?
Well, you know what? I wouldn't say it would be his WrestleMania moment, because here's the thing. You see the guy, he broke in with his father. He got the tag team titles. He did the North American title from NXT for a little bit. But now you see him, yes, he's getting booed. But he's more the face of the Judgment Day than Finn.
You know, and I noticed that it seems like he's taking more of a leadership role, if you think about
it. And again, I have nothing against Finn. I think he's great. He doesn't need the title. Penta, I don't see them putting it on Penta because, again, everybody knows my obsession with the draft. I see Penta going to SmackDown because of Rey Fenix. We'll take that in a minute after we get the SmackDown.
When is the draft? When is the draft this year?
Is it going to be after us? Yeah,
it's going to be after Mania, or is it going to be after Backlash?
I think it'll be after Mania, sometime after Mania. But again, you don't need. You need to get the title off of Breaker to put Breaker in the big picture, because listen, you know there's going to be switches. You know there's going to be, you're going to this brand, you're going to that brand again. And I'm just shooting a long shot here. I'd love to see Cena and Breaker. I love that. I know nobody has talked about that matchup, but I would love to see Cena versus Breaker for the title.
See, I don't. All right. Number one, I like your theory on Dom winning the title, because personally, I've been talking with one of my coworkers, Gary, at work, and we both agree that the implosion of Judgment Day is going to happen at WrestleMania.
But again, Malachi Black is coming back. But Malachi's going to SmackDown to be with Zelina.
But we've also said, like, my coworker and I were talking and everything like that. Pony, you might remember Gary last year. He filled in on the softball team one of our games. Basically, we're talking, and you know what? Yes, Finn can be a heel, but we both much rather preferred him as a face, because he was someone that everyone could get behind.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I prefer Finn with the demon gimmick. Unfortunately, I've watched Finn when he was Devitt, Prince Devitt, all that shit in New Japan and, you know, Irish Championship Wrestling. But the problem is, you still owe him one. Let's be fair.
You do.
You owe Finn. You owe Finn from when he got hurt from Rollins. And again, you have these guys coming in. You have all these possible storylines. And as much as I want to see it on Penta, we know Penta's going to go be a tag team with Rey Fenix. We know this.
Not necessarily. That hasn't been established yet.
I think you need something. You really do. You need something to bump up that tag. You mean to tell me right now they're not thinking, wait a minute.
You're right.
If we take Penta, put him on SmackDown in the tag team division with Rey, we have Penta and Phoenix, Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, DIY, and probably more. that is probably one of the best stacked tag team divisions SmackDown has had in a long time. Because you're not going to keep Penta on Raw because you have the LWO. So I think it's going to go on Dom. He deserves it. He's carried it. I think that, Americano should be in it because he is the world's greatest luchador from Gulf of America.
All right. My thing is, I could see Dom winning it. That is true. I could see either Dom or Finn winning it because
I think you're more so correct.
You need that implosion of the Judgment Day. You really do. And that's what it's going to come down to. The title aspect. And we've seen it before in the past when you put two members of the same faction in a match for a title. Mm-hmm. One usually goes over the other, and that's what creates a downfall.
And I like how you put it, that this is going to be the implosion of the Judgment Day because Dom's going to cost Finn.
Yeah, and that's my thing. Now, speaking of the whole Intercontinental title picture and everything, R.I.P. Carlito.
Dude, that was fucking hurt. That was ignorant. Like, literally, you damn well know Carlito had some apples in his gut. He got hit with that spirit. He was shitting applesauce since Monday. Like, what the not nice. He hit that.
Do you know what it reminded me of in reality?
What?
Who was it a while back that threw a fan? It was Bronson Reed, right?
Yes.
Breaker didn't throw a fan. Breaker threw himself.
Dude, listen.
Breaker cleared about 10 feet before he even hit him and still was able to flip and pop off.
I'm more impressed he did it in skinny jeans.
That too. I mean, but the fact that Breaker can move like that, throw his body, and hit.
It looked like he came off of one of them torpedo bats.
Yeah, exactly. Hit Carlito, flip, and still pop up. It's like, dude, what? I want to know what pre-workout or energy drink he is on because
He's a Steiner. It's in his DNA, bro. It's a Steiner thing.
He's a certified genetic freak, right?
Freak, yeah. Going on with Raw.
You know what? That's a good point right there, though.
Huh.
Cowboy Jake. My issue with Dom is I feel like his promos are always sound like he's reading them off a paper and not talking.
I mean, The Rock read him off of his wrist, but people still loved it.
I mean,
argue it.
Yeah, but at the same point, Dom sounds stiff, and I don't know if it's because he has yet to figure out how to cut through the crowd when they're booing him, but he just sounds stiff. He doesn't.
Dom has a very hard time, I think, with that. But the problem is, at the end of the day, he has heat on him that you cannot buy. Let's be fair with that. And again, you don't need to have a long title reign. You just need to put the title on him and see what he does. Because if you do, I think you're going to be very, very surprised. I know what.
Hold on, right there. The thing about it, Andre, our friend Andre said back, The Rock has charisma.
No. The Rock has a big ass forehead. Christian had charisma. Listen, if you want to go top 5 charismatic superstars, you got. The Rock doesn't even break my top 10.
Wow.
And you can listen. Number 1, Dusty Rhodes.
Okay.
Number 2. I don't want to get shit for this. Al Snow.
Okay.
Number 3.
But was Al Snow's charisma because of Al Snow, or was it because he had what everybody wanted?
Had? again, you look at it and it got over. Number four, you have to.
Oh yeah, you mentioned Regal for number 3, which Regal needs no explanation.
No. Charisma. Number 4 is kind of a tie with number 5, but if I
love when you start listing your top 5, and I realize you don't have 5 in your arsenal.
No, 5's in my arsenal. 4 could go 4 to 5. Jeff Hardy's one of them, and I hate and I'm gonna say this: The Miz.
All right, so my top 5 when it came to charisma. All right,
Andre, I disagree with you, man, but I still miss you.
All right, I will put Dusty Rhodes on there.
That boy.
I will put Ric Flair on there.
Ric Flair's in my top 10. I'll give him that.
I would put The Miz on there.
Mm-hmm.
I will not put Jeff Hardy on the list. And the reason being, we are talking about charisma on the mic, not athletic charisma.
We're going on the mic?
On the mic, yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
That's
what I'm saying.
I'm going to go okay. Dusty.
Go ahead.
I'm going to go Dusty. I'm going to go Road Dogg.
Okay.
I'm going to go Enzo.
Yep.
Hate it or don't hate it. I'm going to go Punk.
Yep.
And then I'm going to go Raven.
Yep. See, and that's what I was going to say. Charismatic on the mic. You got Dusty. You got Flair. You got Punk. You know, you've got The Miz. You've got Enzo. No matter what you want to say about him, he was able to get the crowd to recite the whole fucking thing without a microphone.
My name is Enzo, and I'm a bona fide G and a certified stud, and you can't teach that. This right here is Big Cass. He's 7 feet tall, and you can't teach that. How you doing?
And then you go on with the promo, and everyone was still saying it. And that's the problem. Enzo, you know, Joseph said it best. Explosive Joseph. Enzo he had trouble. That essentially was what it was.
You want to know what the thing with Enzo, and I still follow Enzo, and he's not wrong. The problem is Enzo didn't put up with the backstage bullshit.
No, he didn't.
He said he was a grown-ass man, and he refused to be made out to be like a bitch. And I respect that.
All right, so Chatterheads, in the comments, drop your top 5 charismatic on the microphone. It doesn't have to be in any order. Just drop your top 5. For example, you know, Andre, he's got Dusty, Flair, The Rock, Miz, and Austin.
Austin's stretching it. Stretchy.
But Austin can cut the promos that made you believe. You know,
Austin could cut the promos because he was drunk.
True. Enzo and Road Dogg, Andre mentioned.
Now, would an honorable mention be Paul Heyman?
Paul Heyman, give him a microphone.
I already beat you to that, Joseph. Cute though.
So, but no, like you talk about, I would like to see Dom get more charismatic on the mic because I think he's got it in there somewhere, but that's not something he has learned from being with his dad or even being with Judgment Day. Because even looking at Judgment Day, outside of Damian Priest, which it took Damian a while to get to that point,
I disagree with you.
None of them are really good on the mic.
You want to know what? I will give.
Actually, Ponyboy, Joseph's got you beat. You forgot the bada boom, realest guys in the room.
Joseph.
Sounds like you're soft.
SAWFT.
FT.
Soft. You gotta hit the soft. Kind of like Joseph's dick on prom night. Anyways.
But yes. And honestly, or whatever, you know, as we're talking about charismatic on the mic, Paul Heyman is the GOAT. He is the GOAT.
Yes, it truly is. Speaking of, you want to get into Heyman now?
Let's get into Heyman now. That was a nice little segue.
Well, before we do, I'm going to grab something. But I want you to tell these people about what we got going on in a couple weeks. Just give them a little taste of it. Good. Right back.
I don't know if he's telling me to drop promos or start doing promos. I'm not sure. But anyway, coming up, in a couple weeks, well, let's start with this weekend. We have RPW Spring Break, Rocket Pro Wrestling at St. Joe's Park. Tickets at the door, $20 for general admission, $25 for front row, at which point bell time is 5 o'clock. There is a pre-match at 4:30. A lot of stipulation matches going on for RPW this week. Oh, yeah, you got to bring out your new pretty. That's what you got to bring out. RPW Spring Break, Rocket Pro Wrestling at St. Joe's Park this weekend, all ages. And for those of you that are worried about it being a late night, it's usually over by 8:30, 9 o'clock, unless Maximus Orion decides to lay in the middle of the ring during the intermission.
Speaking of Maxi Pat Orion,
I wish I had saved the video because it is phenomenal. Someone tagged the TLC page in it. You know what? I will share it.
It is later. Our friend from the Intoxicated Gentleman podcast. They're extremely nice guys. Again, Intoxicated Gentleman podcast. Look them up. They're awesome. Rocket Pro Wrestling last night had an event at Pizza Ranch out in Joliet Shorewood. Meet some of the wrestlers, and Maximus Orion was there. Damian Gray was there. Listen here, Damian. This is a body filled by Old Style and Malort, and I want my goddamn rematch. You got me last night in arm wrestling, Daddy. But I tell you this right now. I'm gonna fuel up, I want to power up, and I want my rematch. But then
Anyway, Ponyboy decided to get into a couple of arm wrestling matches last night. And he went 1 for 2.
Yes. I'm 1-1, thank you.
1-2.
1 win, 1 loss. 1-1.
And out of 2 attempts, you are 1-2.
I like my phrasing better because 1-1 sounds better than 1-2.
That makes it sound like you didn't go against Damian Gray and lose.
I did.
We are not a lying podcast. You are 1-2. You lost to Damian Gray. However, how did it go with Maximus Orion? Because he looks so thrilled to see you.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He's a strong. He's got some stamina. That little shit. I tell you what, man. He held it. He tried, but just like Sylvester Stallone, I put it over the top, baby, and I beat him. Listen, there's no way I was losing to Maxi Pad Orion. There was just no way. I couldn't live that down. I put the podcast on my back.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Watching the video, and he said it best, it's just a matter of how long can I hold out.
Again, there is a slight size differential between Maximus and the Golden One, but still, it was a good time. They always put on good events.
I'm glad our Chatterheads know that this is why he sucks at Fortnite.
Dude, I tell you what, man. I don't know if it's from like flicking the trigger or doing something else, but his forearms were huge.
Everyone's roasting you about your 1 of 2, Cody.
I know what.
We're
just let me put that down. Hold on.
I'm surprised you're not holding it up closer to the camera.
I can.
Well, there you go. There's the detail of it. So Ponyboy went out to the SmackDown show last Friday, and he found what he was looking for. The CM Punk spinner title.
No, you can't have it.
I didn't want it.
All right. So anyways, yes. Rocket Pro Wrestling this Saturday. Doors open at 4. Bell starts at 5. They have multiple title matches. They have a 3 stages at home match. They have a tag team dog collar match. It's gonna be a good time.
Isn't there even a ladder match in one of them?
There might be. Hold on. Let me. While we're discussing this.
Yeah, there's a whole. It's almost like a stipulation match showcase. Which, by the way, I saw someone complaining about WrestleMania 41 and how there are no stipulation matches. So if you're the stipulation type, Rocket Pro Wrestling this Saturday night at St. Joe's Park is where you want to be.
So there's a couple of different matches. They don't say it, but looking at the card is an extremely stacked card. If you've never been, you're gonna love it. You're gonna want to keep going. And again, we're gonna post about it all week. Your boy just got new microphones, so we're gonna bring some more fun stuff at you. They're pretty cool. I sent Zero a video of how they work, and they are crystal clear. But we're gonna have a good time. Rocket Pro Wrestling. If you don't follow them, we're gonna link them, share them. We tag them all the time. They're a great company. The Shelleys are an amazing family who do such a wonderful job every month. And they've been nothing but gracious to us. As Mr. Shelley said on one of his posts, apparently the Tables, Ladders, and Chatter podcast is becoming a favorite through Rocket Pro Wrestling fans. So looking forward to bigger and better ventures with them. Damian Gray calling you out one more time, middle of the Rocket Pro Wrestling ring. And listen, powered by Old Style and Malort. Let's go, baby.
You know what? You're just reminding me. I got to get my solo show going up and running again. I've been saying I'm going to.
Yeah.
But if you all remember when I relaunched, Other Side of the Mic and whatnot, I had Damian Saint on. I had, I had Will Shelley, who is Maximus Orion, on. And at the time, they were at ends with each other. For those that follow Rocket Pro, now they work together.
Sell out.
Hold on, Ponyboy. My dumb ass back then said it would be great to have you both on the show at the same time. So sometime when they go on their mid-season break after May,
listen,
I will have both of them on my show at the same time, and I got a feeling it's going to be one hell of a party.
Listen, just because you're going to have Maxi Pat Orion and Timu William Regal, you're going to have something magical happen. It's going to be a shitty show because of both shitheads. Anyways, Rocket Pro Wrestling this weekend, 5 p.m. bell time, St. Joe's Park, Joliet, Illinois. Tickets at the door. Doors open at 4. All right, let's get back to the Punk Heyman.
Moving on. Yeah, let's get back to the wrestling
and
everything like that.
As Zero said, I was at SmackDown at the Allstate Arena last Friday.
How emotional was it? Like, watching the clip over the TV and everything, how emotional was it to hear Paul Heyman say, I can't do that, my tribal chief. Live.
I'm going to tell you right now. If you can ask our confidant, Brad, I went with him. We're standing there and we're watching it. I'm like, he's going to do it. He's going to call him to walk down with him. He thought I was nuts. Punk said what he said. The atmosphere was it was a mixture. You heard quietness. You heard like shock and awe. But then when he says Roman's talking to him and you literally hear Heyman, you kind of got to feel bad for the little butterball. Like, he is so loyal to his peoples. Like, he's loyal to the chief. He's loyal to the Second City Saint. But I'm calling it now. He's going to side with Rollins.
Well, before we get into that hypothesis and that theory and everything, one thing I like that WWE's been doing is they have been bringing a lot of callbacks from, the CM Punk Shield era when all this initially started. And if you think about it, Punk was the one that laid the groundwork for Seth Rollins to step on his own and essentially betray Roman Reigns. Because after he had beat Dean Ambrose a ton of times, he said, I want to know which one is the best out of you three.
Here's my thing.
Now you go back, and for those that have been watching WWE for over a decade, 2 decades, you start to catch on to what they're doing. And to be fair, one of the clips that WWE had brought back was when Heyman originally told Punk, you will be a WrestleMania main eventer.
Here's my thing.
On that day, So it was kind of a callback to that, to where if you paid attention, the devil's in the details, as they say.
Yes.
However, moving forward, what favor do you think Rollins is going to say? And here's my next question. As I said, the devil's in the details, all that. You know, if, let's say the favor is Paul Heyman will still come down with CM Punk, but he's leaving with Seth Rollins. Does that insinuate that Rollins is going to win?
Here's the thing. You're in a very tight situation right now. Because do either three of them technically need a voice in their corner? No. Do either three of them need this win at Mania? When you said Butterball. Oh yes.
No one brought up Paul Heyman, or not Paul Heyman. Sorry, Paul Bearer.
Anyways,
Paul Bearer was one of the greatest managers out there.
Oh, absolutely. Roman Reigns.
He managed LA Knight when LA Knight was in the TNA.
Yes. I don't think none of them need Paul Heyman right now. But for him to screw over Punk would be huge. For him to screw over Roman wouldn't make sense. But for him to join with Rollins would put Rollins into a position where
he pulled the ultimate heel move in reality.
Yeah.
This whole thing has been just building for Rollins to go heel.
To be fair, he kind of has gone heel. He's been heel.
But it's not he hasn't done anything to do a legitimate heel turn. You want to talk about it? All right, let's look at it this way. And he mentioned it. Heist of the century, okay?
Yeah.
Here comes the second heist of the century. Not only did I take the title from Roman and Lesnar, now I have taken Punk's best friend.
Yeah, I can, but again,
off his two greatest adversaries.
Yeah, it's a very strange concept right now, and I'm very much into it.
Well, if
I had it my way,
but my question is, when does Rollins drop his favor? Will it be Friday? Will it be Monday? Will it be next Friday going into WrestleMania? Or will it be the day of?
I think it's going to be the Monday night after Mania.
That's so that way it has no bearing on the match or anything like that.
Yep.
Well, going back to your point about the WWE draft and everything, I do not see the draft happening after WrestleMania. I see it after Backlash for one reason.
Why?
WrestleMania is April 19th and 20th.
Okay.
Backlash is May 10th. You're telling me within a 3-week period, it's not going to happen.
They can do it.
They can, but then you're going to wind up with a Backlash where you have rushed storylines, and I don't see them doing that. And
no,
everyone's bashing how WrestleMania is booked and whatnot. I'm sorry, but there are matches that are going to be lackluster. I get that. I don't have high hopes for the women's triple threat match. I don't have high hopes for the women's tag match. I really don't like my top 3 matches of WrestleMania.
Yep.
Are going to be the Punk Rollins Reigns match.
Okay.
The 4-way for the Intercontinental match.
Okay.
And probably the Jay and Gunther match. But the Jay and Gunther match scares me because
we're going to segue into that right now.
It's one of those matches that has the potential to be a match of the decade, like to reach that top 100 matches.
Okay.
But I feel as though it could be muddied down pretty quick. And that's what worries me.
Here's the thing. It is no secret that rumors have flown that Triple H is extremely pissed off with Gunther because of how off script the beatdown of Jimmy went.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a secret. It has been everywhere. Gunther is dropping the title because let's face it, Jay came out last night while Gunther looked like he dressed up like Pee Wee Herman.
Oh, no. He didn't look like Pee Wee Herman to me. You know who he looked like?
Who?
Mr. Bean.
They all look the same. Grace. Yeah. Jay came out in all black with the black Yeats that they better put up on shop because I need them.
Jay's walking into Mania with that black Air Force One energy.
Dude, listen. Jay's gonna win, and I pray to God that when he wins, they don't treat him like Kofi.
Gotcha.
Jay's gonna win it, and he's not gonna have a long reign, but he's gonna have a good one.
I didn't even know that was a match at WrestleMania. That's
what match?
Jade and Naomi.
Andre,
I didn't even know that was a match.
Listen, Andre, I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm going to be taking a shit during that match because that's what that match is going to be. 100% grade A corn-infused shit. Because...
Do you think it's ultimately going to be a squash match?
I mean, if I had to guess, I probably, if they were alive, maybe have Jerry Springer as a special guest referee. Maury Povich ain't doing nothing. Oh, get Steve Wilkos to referee it. I mean, again, this is stupid. You're taking this match that has no fucking merit when you could have it be filtered by an women IC title match or a women's United States title match. You're having this match. This match should be like a pre-show warm-up. This shouldn't be on the card.
And to be honest with you, I have a match I could throw right alongside that.
Huh?
Rey Mysterio against El Americano.
I was waiting for one thing out of that match. I was waiting for it.
What, a demasking?
Yeah, I was waiting.
Not going to happen for one reason. Chris Jericho just demasked another one in AEW.
Chris Jericho did not mean to do that. It was an accident. But again,
Ponyboy. No, Ponyboy. That was one of the stipulations. If Jericho won, the guy would lose his mask.
Right.
Which the fucked up part is that the match was restarted after Jericho had lost. Oh, Andre has a point there.
Yes, Andre.
It won't be a squash match. It'll be more of a brawl to cover up Jade's lack of wrestling ability.
Listen.
Okay, I could get behind that.
You're literally going to see Botchamania. And I'm not talking about their Botox. I'm not talking about their lip fillers and their face lip. No. You're going to see this match. And it is going to ruin the women's division.
So, anyway,
but again,
but I was throwing that match or whatever in regards to Rey Mysterio and
Americano.
El Americano. My
from
thing is this.
From the great area of the Gulf of America.
I almost feel like that match is because everybody knows Rey's time is coming. Rey has not, he's been in WrestleMania the last few years, but I don't think he had a WrestleMania match last year. And to be fair, Chad Gable has not had a WrestleMania match.
Chad Gable's not even at WrestleMania this year.
All right, I'm going to pull this comment up from Andre. That's not Gable.
It's not.
And Vince McMahon isn't a pervert.
Listen to all the Chatterheads watching now and listening later. If you think that El Americano is Chad Gable, I have two things to say to you. One, I hope both the sides of your pillow are hot. And two, Chad Gable doesn't wear a mask. He's got a pretty face. He don't need to cover that up. That's American-made face right there. He knows it. Don't be hating on him.
Ponyboy, I got one thing to say or whatever.
Go ahead.
I'm sure El Americano appreciates your support of him not being Chad Gable. But guess what? Gracias!
Gracias. Gable doesn't speak Spanish. He doesn't. He doesn't speak Spanish. Just saying.
So help me. So help me if Andre calls it. They're going to have Gable come out and interfere.
Andre.
I'm going to be looking. All right. You know what? This is going to sound really weird. But when El Americano comes out, I'm going to be looking. Because you know what? You will be able to tell the body difference. All right.
All right. Here's what I'm going to say.
Now, in regards to you being surprised that it's not a mask versus mask match, that might get added later because you still have a week to go. I don't see WWE doing that though, because as I said, Chris Jericho just demasked another luchador. Which, by the way, I know we don't talk about AEW or Ring of Honor very often. Chris Jericho has gotten to the point where he needs to go. In my honest opinion, he is the new age Hulk Hogan, where he has done everything he can do. He is no longer putting over new talent. He needs to go. No, he needs to go.
Yeah.
And you know, another thing I want to talk about in AEW, all right? And I want your opinion of this. Huh?
What?
Oh God, the wrestler under the mask is Ezekiel.
That's Elias's brother. I still walk
originally
with Elias.
Originally LA Knight. I'm sorry, that picture popped up, and I'm like, I can't look away from this. But AEW, all right. Does anyone remember FTR? They were originally the Revival in WWE. Solid tag team, whatnot. Hey, Ponyboy.
Yeah. Yo.
How do you feel about them essentially turning their back on Adam Copeland, Edge?
So it's not coming. Again,
the reason I bring this up is because yes, there have been some phenomenal backstabs in the past. You know, Rollins and Reigns. You know, you look at stuff like that. The thing about the FTR and Edge thing, I believe they live like 2 houses down from each other. They are family friends. FTR is actually the tag team that helped, 1, convince Edge to get back into the ring, and 2, helped him rehabilitate to get the ring rust off.
I think if you truly think about it, you're gonna give Edge and Christian one more tag team run in AEW.
You think that's what it's setting up for?
I think it might, because they're both getting close to the end, and that's what everybody wants.
But I was talking to someone about this, and my big concern with it, okay? They may be getting to the end, but Christian is still having a phenomenal run in AEW on his own.
Well, Christian's contract is longer than Edge's.
But my thing is this: if he were to team up with Cope again, do you think there might be some resentment? Because let's face it, Christian was always in Edge's shadow. But do you think now the roles would be reversed because Christian has been there longer?
No. Edge will always be in a higher level and higher category than Christian. Always will be. Edge has always had better charisma than Christian. Edge has always been able to get over with the crowd more than Christian. Edge is more believable than Christian in a lot of aspects, but nothing against Christian. He's still got a Hall of Fame career in TNA, WWE. He was ECW champion. He's been in AEW, and he's had some great moments in AEW. But Edge will always trump Christian.
You know, and when you think of AEW superstars that will have Hall of Fame careers in WWE, you got to give it to Moxley as well.
Yeah. I give it up to Moxley because he's sober. He's clean and sober, and he's doing great.
And Moxley is the only one to have held every world title in the modern era.
I think no.
Yes.
No.
No?
You're wrong.
What didn't he hold?
I mean, if you want to split hairs, he never held the world heavyweight title, but that's, you know.
He held a world heavyweight in TNA. He held one in WWE. He's held it in AEW multiple times. He's been, unfortunately, the workhorse, you know. And also he was the IGPW New Japan champion most recently.
Again. Okay. And Cody Rhodes hasn't?
Cody Rhodes never held it in TNA. I don't think Rhodes ever touched TNA.
I think he did once or twice.
No, he was in Ring of Honor.
I think he went to TNA for spoofs.
Oh. But anyway, my thing is this though. In regards to backstabbing, betrayals, the FTR Edge thing, it kind of hits home because when you look at the history behind it, you know, it's like it's one of those betrayals where you really didn't need it.
No,
you know, you could have just had them go their separate ways.
I think them splitting off FTR with Cope is a power move for them to make them more relevant because they don't need Adam. They don't need to be in the triple threat picture. But I do think that
FTR, in my opinion, will always be a dominant tag team. And honestly, when they were in WWE, I loved them when they were the Revival because they literally brought the old school tag team. One second, Ponyboy. But back to what I was saying, and we'll get to that in a second. But FTR, when they were the Revival in WWE, they brought back the old school tag team style, kind of like what Motor City Machine Guns does. But we have people looking it up. Cody Rhodes was never the AEW champion. He was just the TNT champ.
Okay.
Which makes sense because I believe he even went on record saying that, and he never did win the TNA title, but I believe Cody Rhodes went on record saying that he did not want to be the AEW champion, partially because he was a part owner of the business.
Yeah.
And also the conflict of interest, you know.
Yes. Now, speaking on Cody.
Yes.
Where do we think that match with Cena is going to end up? For those of you who don't know, it has been known to public that John Cena has been diagnosed with some form of skin cancer. Now, do you put the title on Cena till Backlash so he can feud with Orton, and then Orton beats Cena, and then you can feud with Cody and Orton and Cena, and you get that what everybody wants is an Orton and Cody feud? Or do you say, fuck you, fuck your cancer, you're losing?
Well, to be fair, let's not misdiagnose it here, okay? Yes,
it is a form of skin cancer.
But he had it removed already.
Twice.
Yes. Now, you want my honest opinion of the Cena Rhodes match?
Yes.
I am afraid that with all the hype, the promos, the build-up, it is going to be lackluster. I'm afraid.
I agree with you. But again, this is how I'd book it. You're going to have Cena go over. And then at the end of it, you hear Orton's music hits. And then you speak.
speaking of Orton, by the way, that man is phenomenal with investing his money.
Oh, Orton?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah, he is.
Do you know why?
Why?
You go back to 20. You go back to 2023. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And he RKO'd Nick Aldis.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And Nick Aldis fined him $50,000.
I'm gonna say this right now.
And Orton paid him $100,000. He's like, the fine was only $50,000. He's like, that's for next time.
That RKO.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm telling you right now, where we were sitting, we had perfect view of everything. I literally looked down at my phone and a little look up, look down, look up, and he hit that RKO. That thing was like fucking spring loaded. Like loaded.
Well, my thing is this, right?
Amazing.
So I got rid of cable, everything like that. So I haven't really been watching SmackDown. I catch the clips and everything.
Yeah.
What did Orton lose his match at WrestleMania because of the Owens injury?
What's up?
Did Randy Orton lose his match at WrestleMania because Owens is injured? Like, what's going on with Owens right now?
Owens is legit hurt. Owens is legit hurt.
Okay.
Now, as far as his match at WrestleMania goes, there have been a couple possibilities. One, it's going to be against Aldis. Two, you have Rusev coming back. Again, it's really gonna. I personally want to see the Aldis one because I think Aldis and Orton would put on a great match. One time out, KO could be out to up to 5 to 7 years, depending on everything that's wrong.
And to be fair with Kevin Owens and everything like that, you got to look at everything he's done to his body over the last 3 years alone.
Yeah.
And he rarely took time off to begin with.
Yes. Again, I've heard it could be Aldis, it could be Rusev, it could be Aleister Black. But again, I think the money match would be Aldis because I think Aldis could still carry a match with Orton. Everybody's wanted to see Aldis wrestle. And like you said, going into this section of the podcast, that is just long time storytelling at its finest. And I think that would be the way to go.
Well, it's not like he can find him another $50,000 or he already paid for it.
This is true. This is true.
But you are right. I watched the clip of that. I don't know what was said beforehand. I heard that Orton doesn't have a match at WrestleMania, and
that's what it was. That's basically what it was. But
I saw Orton was like bent over, pissed off, and how spring loaded it was. It's like
that was crazy live, dude.
For the neck injuries, the back injuries, that motherfucker still hit it out of nowhere.
I will tell you right now, he hit that fucking RKO so fucking fast. It was like a wet fart out of a duck's ass. Just whoop. It was nuts. It was nuts.
So Explosive Joseph, by the way, there's always been rumors going on that you'll have a match between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis at some point.
Adam Pearce
they've both said that they would get in the ring at one point if it came down to it, but neither of them are pushing that issue. They are actually both very happy with where they're at as the Raw and SmackDown general manager. And to be honest with you, this is the first time in a long time where I have enjoyed a general manager role for Raw and SmackDown.
Can we just note that I'm going to post a picture, but Adam Pearce did the Samoa Joe nope walk away when Io Sky. Can we just like real quick acknowledge Io Sky's ass from Monday? Possum was somewhere in his trash can beating his possum meat. Like her ass looked absolutely just.
He probably hasn't seen it, so I'll have to find the clip and send it to him. Just, you know.
But like you see Io coming off the rope to double drop kick Rhea in the back, and you just see Adam Pearce doing the Samoan Joe. Nope. That match, I want Rhea to win. I don't really care about it. I'm not trying to be sexist like I've been called before. But again, we have seen this match before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we listen and we don't judge. Boo-boo.
Oh, look!
There he's
awesome. Appeared.
There's a wild possum. Oh, all you got to do is talk about some Asian booty, and he's right there. That's enjoyable. That's family fun right there. Talk about Io Sky's voluptuous buttocks and a wild possum appears. Really nice. Good job, possum. Missed you too, buddy.
So that's how we get him to appear. It's not like Joe Hendry where we say his name. We have to talk about, you know,
Asian buttholes.
His interests. Okay, got it. Anyway, Possum, thanks for joining tonight. I hope you're having fun in Milwaukee.
Oh, of course, you said it wrong.
Oh, Milwaukee.
It's pronounced Milwaukee.
Yeah, Possum has a show tomorrow night up there with his other band, Rabid Wreck.
Bullshit.
Exactly.
Bullshit.
My sixth sense went off.
You felt the tingling in your little possum wiener.
That's in sixth sense.
Oh, gross. That's gross. Okay.
We listen and we don't
judge. Can we? I want to get into one more thing, and this is, and I know it shouldn't be. I'm not okay. I think Tiffany should be somewhat in hot water for her comments. Now,
why?
You know me. I am not a fan. Listen, hold on. I am absolutely 100% against bringing legit personal issues into storylines. You saw it with Hawk with his drinking. You saw it with Hardy. And even Hardy said it was worse having to act it out again. I am so against bringing somebody's personal business because let's face it, at the end of the day, their personal lives is theirs. We've been seeing a lot with Asuka and Ripley and Sonya Deville. Their personal lives is exactly that, their personal lives. And the fact that Tiffany Stratton, now, a lot of streaming services has cut that off. I was there. I heard it. Charlotte wanted to make fun of Tiffany's squeaky voice. And I'm going to be honest with you. Tiffany's 25. Charlotte's been there a while. The fact that Tiffany went for that big of a personal low blow just shows me how insecure she is in the ring. Because for those of you who don't know, 24 hours prior to SmackDown, Charlotte was on a talk show host, and they brought up how she just recently filed divorce from Andrade. And you can physically see the mental state Charlotte was in on that on that talk show, because she starts getting upset, you start crying. Now again, I've never been married, Zero's never been married, but full disclosure, we come from a divorce home and we saw what that's done. Okay.
But all right, to be fair, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay. I'm going to throw this out there. Okay. It's not Charlotte's first marriage.
No, it's not.
And maybe unlike the others, Andrade, maybe he was better than the others and it just didn't work out. I get it. But, you go back to the last Royal Rumble when Andrade came back. Or when he came back, all right? And Charlotte had that knee injury. They were talking about divorce then, and they tried to make it work. So, obviously, it just didn't work, all right?
Yep.
Fine. I personally feel Charlotte has other things going on in the background because from where I was sitting watching, it on TV or watching
she looks
like
highlights
and everything. Yeah, she looks terrible.
Because if you go back and you watch that interview, she talks about it because how she doesn't want to be compared to her father in that aspect because it makes her feel like a failure as a person, failure as a woman, failure as all these things. And you can physically see the mental distraught she has. Now we sit here.
I don't know her. I don't know her and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you this right now. I would not doubt at least 50% of her problem in the marriage with Andrade, because apparently Ric Flair really liked Andrade. So if Flair liked him, that tells me he was probably a decent guy. I would I would not doubt that part of the issue is that outside of wrestling, she has an ego to where she can't separate who she is in the ring from who she is outside of the ring.
You want to know what? I think a lot of it, I'm coming off the cup. Andrade was AEW for a long time.
Yep.
Charlotte got hurt.
Didn't help.
Charlotte got hurt. Charlotte's rehab went south, and everybody knows this. Andrade came back to Raw. Charlotte went directly to SmackDown. So again, but that's besides the point. I do not agree with bringing somebody's personal issues to that magnitude when you physically see 24 hours beforehand, and then you want to say your comment and you fucked up. Because if you see how she got out of that ring that fucking fast.
She actually admitted that her rolling out of the ring like that was a defense mechanism.
Because she knew what was about to happen. Because I want to go back a couple years to when Charlotte was feuding with Paige.
Oh, we're not going to talk about that.
Okay, because fucking thing.
That comment was definitely below the belt. Which, by the way, how do you feel about Paige possibly coming back?
I don't give a fuck. Xavier Woods is still there. Victory lap.
Anyway, yep. Video part 2.
Yeah. Again.
Anyway, my thing is this, all right? You know what, though? Out of the whole thing, do you know who I think the best individual out of all of it is?
It's Kaiser.
Fucking Kaiser's response on Twitter.
Listen. You want to know what? And I'm going to say this right now. It wouldn't shock me if he has been in her DMs. Because it would not. But, again, I stand on the grounds that the comment was wrong. It shouldn't have been said. Just because if you look back and you see the mental state of a lot of wrestlers, how they teeter back and forth a lot, that's just something you don't go to. Like, and the fact that Charlotte was making fun of Tiffy's squeaky voice, which we can be all honest here, it gets annoying. Like the legally blunt, like, again, maybe I would like respect Tiffany Stratton if she wasn't some bastard child of Trish Stratus and Legally Blonde. You know, everybody wants to rip on Rhea because she looked like Charlotte back in the day. But Tiffy is a carbon copy of Trish. The initials are the same.
All right, I gotta give you that one. I do gotta give you that one.
But
honestly,
it's Tiffy time. No, bitch.
I personally feel like I almost feel like part of the reason why Tiffy went that low is because she knows, just like we all know this.
I want to bring up Jose's comment, Edge and Hardy. That feud was never supposed to happen. Matt Hardy, and if you go and you watch the interviews, Matt Hardy openly said he went there to fight Adam. because that was real. Matt was pissed because him and Adam Copeland had been best friends for years.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that scruffle on Monday Night Raw, you even hear Adam say, well, you know what? I knew what I did. I'm going to let him get his swings in, and then we're going to go about it. Like, they might be friends now. They might have, but the Edge and Matt Hardy feud had a lot of people worried because at that time, you never had anything to that magnitude. You never had somebody yell on a microphone, screw you, Adam, screw you, Lita. That was one of the big first times you said bye-bye to the fourth wall, and here's reality.
And my thing is this, and this is what I'm getting at. I almost think that part of the reason why Tiffy probably went that low, and that's the other thing. You don't know what they have discussed in the back, but I can bet you any money they are well aware no one gives a fuck about Charlotte. So how you draw attention to the match, you have to break that wall and bring in some controversy.
I'm gonna say this real quick about Joseph K. Is that explosive? That's explosive, right?
Yeah, he apparently his Facebook wasn't letting him comment, so he had to switch to YouTube.
Listen, unfortunately, you are new to wrestling. Unfortunately, you don't understand the consequences of those actions when you take somebody's personal life and put them in a storyline. Again,
well, like what Potsdam just said, exactly. They made a whole story and made Hardy keep seeing that shit.
Yes,
and to be fair, or whatever.
I'm sorry. I'm going to say this right now.
Worse.
Look at Hawk. Look at Hawk.
Yeah.
And you're acting like a fucking mark. Educate yourself. I'm calling it what it is. Don't be a mark.
We're feuding with comments. We're not feuding with the comments tonight.
It's a mark. It's a mark comment.
As you mentioned, there is a fine line, and that's why I'm curious to see how this plays out. Because you got to remember, we still have SmackDown this week, we have Raw next week, and we have SmackDown the following week. I'm curious to see what escalations happen.
Again,
because I'm gonna be honest, I don't see Charlotte taking the title off of Tiffany.
I think the match is just going to be atrocious. I'm sorry. I don't have any high. I truly wish I had high hopes for the women matches than this WrestleMania, but I don't, because it's the same thing we have seen. I can't believe I'm going to say this. I'd rather see a Chelsea Green match at WrestleMania than what we have.
Is she still the U.S. Women's Champion?
Is that even a thing?
It is, but my thing is this. Chelsea Green is still the United States Women's Champion. Her holding the title this long was not on my bingo card.
Again, they make these women titles and they don't do anything with them. I'm sorry. You know what? I would have rather had Charlotte go up against Chelsea Green.
That would have been fine. I'd been fine for. But throwing Charlotte right back into the women's title division.
No, she hasn't been defending it. She has
they haven't been doing anything with it.
The women's IC title gets defended more than the tag team titles. And I can't stand Valera.
You have seen more of Lyra Valkyria than you have Chelsea Green. Now, on that note, because we're getting close to that time, and I want to bring this up, I loved Lyra as the inaugural IC champion for the women.
Her and Bayley had a banger.
I thought the matches in the very beginning were phenomenal.
Yeah.
They hit a lull. The match with her and Bayley was phenomenal. However, how much longer before we see that title change? Because I think Lyra as the IC title holder has played out. And I have an idea where this is going to go.
I think Jordan Grace is going to take it off her. You got to wait till after the Monday Night Raw Mania because Jordan Grace is getting called up. again, or hear me out. It's a long shot. I'm waiting on it. When Becky Lynch comes back.
Thank you. And you know what? You could have a phenomenal feud between Lyra and Becky. We've already seen it before. But with Becky being gone for so long, Becky could throw the jab at her. You're just a different version of me.
Yep.
You know?
Lyra is not even close. Nowhere close. Because
she's nowhere close to that main title.
You gotta understand on both brands who you have that outshine her on every day and twice on Sunday.
See, and that's the biggest problem. I feel like when Lyra became the NXT Women's Champion, they did not have her hold it long enough before bringing her up.
You want to know what, Joseph? You're right. Lyra is phenomenal. So is AJ Styles, but he's got to work with that douchebag of fucking Logan Paul when he should be in the IC title match. But that's for another week.
Hey, by the way,
yes,
I just want to end it with this because I know Joseph is watching.
Oh, poor Joseph.
What did you think about Karrion Kross on Monday night? If you lose, we all lose. Do you think that's legit him saying Logan Paul does not deserve to be here?
Andre, I'm going to say one thing about Oba Fleming, and it's going to piss everybody off. They are talking about putting him with the tag team partner for when they call him up. I am not happy about it. Neither will all of you. Omos.
On that note,
yeah.
Anyway, on that note, Ponyboy, what are your final thoughts for the night? Because the fact that Omos was brought up and Tommy Guns is not here.
Why do you think I fucking did it?
He's gonna go back and watch this or listen to it.
He's going to. Final thoughts. Again, everybody, if you can, in the comment section, put it on the Facebook page. Send a heart, send a prayer for Tommy Guns and his mom. Again, like we said at the beginning of the video, she's doing much better. She, for those of you who weren't listening, she Humpty Dumpty herself. She kind of cracked her shell a little bit, but she's up, she's going, she's bitchy as all hell, and we love her for it. She's gonna kill her for that later. Again, Saturday, 4 p.m. doors open, 5 p.m. the bell starts. Rocket Pro Wrestling, St. Joe's Park, Joliet, Illinois. Banger of matches set. $20 per ticket. Get them at the door. And then next week, big week. Tommy's coming home next Friday, which is going to be awesome. Miss the cocksucker. We're going to get him drunk. Saturday, we have our Wrestlemania event at Industry Tap House in Joliet. We want to thank
2 to 5 p.m.
2 to 5 p.m. If you need any details, any bar in Joliet, we're gonna give them a shout. Pulse Magazine. We are actually in here twice. We want to thank Jesse at Pulse Magazine. I want to thank Tom at Industry Tap House. We're on the Industry Tap House page. And then oh, look. Oh, my God. It's Rocket Pro Wrestling. You know, shameless plug. Shameless.
But yes, and next week, Saturday, 2 to 5 p.m., Wrestlemania. It's to help Positive Impact Animal Rescue out of Joliet, Illinois. We have some raffles going on. We have some fun things. Planning a dog costume contest. Again, it is dog friendly, but if your dogs are uncomfortable in large crowds or not good with other dogs, please do not bring them
home. Or if you do not listen, you will be asked to fucking leave. And I will not be nice about it.
And as Cowboy Jake says, I know where y'all can get drunk next weekend. Right after Pause-a-Mania, we will kick off WrestleMania Night 1, open to everyone, 21 plus. Obviously, it is a bar. Starts there. We'll be there until whenever it's over, whenever we decide to go home. And then again, directly following it, we know next Sunday is Easter. Spend time with your family. If you want to come for night 2, we will be there as well at Industry Tap House. If you want to, you know what? If you want to spend time with your family and bring yourself a dinner plate, we could have our own little Easter gathering. And then the following night, for the Raw after WrestleMania, we will again
going for the hat trick, baby. Going for the hat
Industry
trick.
Tap House for the TLC Monday Night Raw watch party. Ponyboy, I may or may not be there. I may be late.
Yeah, fuck off.
Yeah, our younger brother did not listen to me when I told him that softball signups were open.
Wow.
So Monday, now
we're Monday after Raw. You can't get that soon enough, can you?
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, we're playing Mondays.
That's funny.
Now.
That you missed it. See what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I did there? Yeah, it's funny.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Ponyboy. The Monday after Raw, don't worry. I'll wear protection.
You missed you do whatever.
Anyway.
That and then yeah, like Zero said, we got a couple cool things we're raffling off. We got a couple it's gonna be a good time. It's looking to be a pretty good turnout. And again, like
hell,
it's 2 to 5.
You might wind up seeing some RPW stars there too.
You might. Again, you never know where they're going to show up. You never really know. But I can honestly tell you that the Malort is cold, and it's tasty. It truly is. We do have new designs that are in the works. So if you are, we will post those. I'm gonna have Zero take a look at a couple of them because.
Yep.
Get
them cleaned up and everything.
Yes, we're gonna. Also, it is getting close to being summer, which means graduation, family gatherings, weddings, and any fucking thing you could think of. If you're in look for a company to come out with music, Karaoke Entertainment. Again, Karaoke Entertainment. They're on Facebook. They're on not YouTube, but they're on Instagram. They are one of the best karaoke party atmosphere companies around the Joliet area. Yosh, DJ Cowboy Jake, they are extremely good at what they do. They bring the party to you. If you need confirmation, you can check them out. Karaoke Entertainment on Facebook. You will see a list of they do it weekly, baby. They do karaoke weekly. Go out, check them out, but keep that in mind. It is getting to be summertime, and you're going to want to party hardy all night long.
On that note, I've got nothing else for tonight. Ponyboy,
did he just ask us Joe's Gucci?
I don't know.
Joseph, you're saying
Ponyboy,
things you should.
Wrap it up.
I got Yosh Gucci. What the fuck?